Live. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's another episode of Venture Maidens. Oh my gosh, do we have something super special for you all today? Stream audience, here, you're seeing it happen as we record the different pieces of the trials of the Blossom Court. So today we are going to be showing you the first of our group's trials, giving you a little bit of backstory and stuff, but over the next few recordings, you will see us hitting each of those trials in turn, and then podcast listeners, basically when they come back to it, it'll all be stitched together in a really cool, neat way, like we did with those flashback episodes from Pieces to Pieces. So we are excited to share that with you. But as you can see, I have only two of our maidens today. Hey, Nassim, Sage, you ready for this challenge about to unfold?
Oh, yes. I'm so excited.
I am very hyped to see what exactly this challenge entails, and I am ready to meet it.
Yes, meet and beat it, destroy it. So today we are going to be handling Aoife's trial, the Test of Artistry. But Nassim is graciously stepping in to play a very big helping hand in these trials today, so well, that'll be fun, but yeah, okay, let's get this officially kicked off. Hey everybody, this is Venture Maidens, if you didn't know that. We're a Venture Maiden, or a 5th edition / Tales of the Valiant actual play stream that converts to a podcast. This is a very adult-themed stream, so just in case, if you're a little baby, oh, you actually have a Tales of the Valiant character sheet, so cool.
I do.
Oh, hell yeah. No babies allowed. It's adult stuff only. Content warnings. In general, we just keep up a body horror content warning just because of graphic, fantasy violence descriptions. I don't anticipate any other content warnings for this episode, but just in case something comes up, keep your eye on the chat for content warnings there, and then you can also see content warnings in the episode show notes if you're listening on podcast. But otherwise, yeah, that's it. So, hey everybody, my name is Celeste Konowich, and tonight I will be your game master.
Hello, and I'm first this time, and I'm Nassim, your half-orc fighter / baby budding druid, and tonight I get to be a few other fun little characters as we pass judgment on
Judgment! What's a trial without judgment? Yes.
And I am Sage, and I will be your artistically brilliant bard, Aoife Flannery.
Well, we'll see what the judges have to say about that in a minute here. But yes, the way things are going to work today, we are going to kick things off with kind of an intro scene, basically where the group is all together, right, getting kind of oriented before these trials begin. And then very shortly we're going to pull Aoife, sweep Aoife away to that trial, and Nassim will be flipping over to play those awesome NPCs for us. But, of course, we got some stuff to do before we dive into the action. So let's start, of course, with that sweet, sweet recap. Guys, tell me what happened last time.
We finally arrived to the Blossom Court gates, and they were very overgrown, and we needed to essentially cut our way through. Tony tried to ask the flowers and the vines nicely, but they gave 0 fucks to help us out.
They moved eventually.
I mean, sure. They did warn us that there was something, they said that we were here with other people, and we found out that we were essentially being stalked by some very powerful creatures. What were they called again? We were immediately ambushed by 5, lycanthropes, and a masked member of the forest court. There was a boar, a wolf, a bear, a tiger, and a rat lycanthrope. And we fought them tough. We didn't do any deadly damage because we wanted to make sure that they were, receptive to why we were at the Blossom Court. We tried to negotiate, tried to say, something's coming our way, we need to be on the same side. But they were like, oh, well, then let's put your mettle to the test and see if you're even capable of dealing with this supposed threat coming our way. So we fought each other, and I think they've taken that message back to their own forest court and essentially let us continue down our path towards the Blossom Court. And yes, after we completed that battle, the vines did open the gates for us, and we entered the court where we learned about these trials.
Yeah, you did do a little stuff, I think, other than that, because that fight messed y'all up pretty good. So we actually had a bit of time where we went back into the chicken hut, and there was some R&R and some conversations were had. Like, Tony had a conversation with Ravane, and then Lou and Aoife had a conversation. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that, Sage?
Yeah, Aoife had started the day off poorly with getting mixed signals from Rook, and they were just kind of on different frequencies the entire day, and that definitely came to a bit of a head. And during the fight with the lycanthropes, Rook actually got bit by the... Was she facing off the tiger? Or the one of them?
The tiger and Ravane were squaring off, so I think...
That's right.
Yeah.
I think it was the wolf. But she got bit by the tiger, or I'm sorry, she got bit by the wolf.
Lions, tigers, bears, oh my.
Oh my. So, after the fight with the lycanthropes had concluded, and we were extended that formal invitation to meet with the Huntress, I believe they called her, who is the sovereign of the Forest Court, they also said, hey, your friend probably has contracted lycanthropy. Here's something to help you deal with it. So they gave us a scroll of remove curse. When we all got back to the chicken hut and we were all kind of patching up our wounds, not feeling great after a kind of rough start to the morning, Lou had handed Rook the scroll to be like, hey, this is what the lycanthrope said. It's your choice if you want to use this in order to deal with it, because they said you're probably cursed with this. And Rook flew off the handle, and Aoife was also like, all right, fine, if this is how you're acting, then I'm just gonna leave. I can't deal with you right now. We've got so much to do. This is a high pressure situation. And she kind of just stormed off to cool off and get some distance from Rook. Rook slammed her door up to her room. And yeah, Tony and Ravane had a conversation basically kind of about Rook, and how Ravane had remarked that she seemed to be clearly a skillful fighter, but she acts in a way that's very self-sacrificing, so probably has been a bodyguard or a protector for someone over the course of her life. And Aoife and Lou spoke about how Rook has opened up to Lou a little bit and has acknowledged that she has been difficult to deal with. But Aoife had basically said, like, I mean, sure, but if we can't find some common ground, then we're just going to have to part ways, because this is going nowhere. And then they, after a short rest and some tea and some heavier things, both in liquid and in conversation, we made our way to the Forest Court, the Blossom Court. And we were met with an entourage of these flower people who were, just extensively voguing. So we were having conversation via grand gesture.
Yes, it was very clear that the whole weird, it's all a dance, right, to them, like, in all literal and social aspects.
Mm-hmm. And so we presented them with the gift of the bloom from the Hanging Gardens of Tethys, and they were like, that's funny that you think a flower garden needs another flower, but it's fine. Nice. We'll accept it. It's good enough. Well, you can wait over here in this shitty humanoid area while we get the trials ready for you. Here's some, like, food, I guess, because you don't... you have to eat or whatever.
Heard you have to eat. Here is a chamber pot, because we've heard you do something with that, right? That kind of... They were trying their best.
Yeah, any hospitality is graciously accepted. So we had basically a day to kind of hang out and wait for them to welcome us into to the outer gardens, where we would be given these trials to see if we are even worthy of talking to the Blossom Sovereign. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So we're hoping to score some big points, so we can make our case.
Yeah, exactly. And that is where we are picking up today. Basically, you had sort of the evening to just rest and chill and wait. You had reported already there were apparently 4 trials it's standard procedure, or they made it seem like that of course guests have to come in and of course they have to do these trials. So you let us know who's doing what trial, right? So you had to very quickly sign up for the various trials. So anybody remember who's on what? What are the trials we have going on here?
Who's on first? So we have the trial of artistry, which Aoife is of course doing.
Mm-hmm.
Ravane is doing the trial of virtue, and Lou and Tony are doing the cunning trial.
No, I think we actually...
Or no, sorry.
Yeah, we swapped it at the last minute.
Yeah, that's right. Lou is doing cunning, the trial of cunning, and then Rook and Tony are doing the trial of valor.
Yep. So, with that in mind, you had made those decisions. You had been, left in this area that they clearly... this greenhouse-style building that they had put together and filled with things that... humanoids, if you had never met a humanoid in your whole life and you're like, okay, the list of things they need, a box to poop in, a food that is not dirt, that kind of stuff has been just put in there. So clearly these people understand very little about humanoids and what they are like, but they have done their best to give you sort of a space while they are preparing whatever these trials are that you all have signed up for. So the evening rolled along, and then we came to morning. Again, hard to tell though, because in the wilds, time doesn't quite work the same way. So there was a transition where it was okay, full daylight, and then sort of a dusk, and then now it's full day again. So you assume morning time. And what you all have been doing, making yourselves busy, is kind of up to you. But as we're starting things, about an hour ago or so, finally, you all had gotten some kind of indication that something was happening. 2 of the Magnophyta, which are, again, these plant people with kind of woven vine bodies, that their heads are giant flowers of seemingly different colors, shapes, varieties, 2 of these Magnophyta guards had come. Basically, they had delivered a letter and a box of items, and very shortly after that, Lou had been taken away to start her trial. And that was all about an hour ago. You haven't heard anything since then. No one else has come for you guys. All you know is that apparently these guards are going to come back whenever they're ready for the next person. So it's been sort of an uncomfortable waiting game at this point. So let's just, Tony, Aoife, what are you guys doing? Where are you in the space? How have you been occupying your time?
Aoife has been kind of inspired by her settings recently, and having all of this free time. She has actually written a poem because she's going into this trial of artistry. She's like, oh, I've got to press them. Yeah, get the juices flowing, and she actually writes a poem about the flowering of an orchid.
Oh, that is so weird for a reason. Okay, very weird coincidence. But yeah, go for it. Would you like to read us the poem?
Oh, I would be delighted.
All right.
Vanda Velleman, avid devotee of flowers fair, purchased at auction a number of glorious specimens. The previous owner passed from some wretched disease in the night. Now Vanda took up the orchid's care with fervent genuine. Sparing no expense, they received the best medicine, for no one loved orchids more than Vanda Velleman. Night and day she labored, tending, trimming, turning, yearning to set eyes on one perfect bloom, the fruits of her toiling. After months of care, all but one blossom, the last stuck in a state of sickly gloom, puzzled, Vanda obsessed with refertilizing, repotting, resoiling. Still the reticent leaves of the orchid kept recoiling, though beneath the soil the tenacious roots were roiling. Vanda scoured every guide for the genus or some clue to its kind, for there is power in names and the information they provide. The unnamed orchid remained nameless, out of speech's grasp. Perhaps its petal will reveal the truth yet spied. Determined, Vanda never left her greenhouse. She would not be denied. Her piety soon paid in spades, and the orchid unleashed a green tide. Vanda Velleman pledged the last of her human flesh. To the orchid she devoted the salt of her sweat and the iron of her blood. The orchid plunged its tendrils into Vanda Velleman's veins. Lashed like a horse to a carriage, Vanda accepted the brutal buds. The roots flowed through every orifice like an unstoppable flood. And finally the orchid bloomed, and Vanda fell with a thud, thud, thud.
Oh, cool. Take a point of inspiration. Cool. Also, the Blossom Court would love this. They're like, oh, a heroic story about an orchid. Oh, persevering over the disgusting enemy that is humanness. Yay. Okay, no fucking shitting you. Okay, please let's talk about the letters and the tokens, because the orchid, that's like freaking wild. This is a coincidence. Okay, so, well, yes, so you were penning this poem, and you're perhaps inspired, weirdly, by the fact that this letter and the thing that Aoife received. So, who would like to read this letter? Because I think maybe this is the time before we hear what Tony is doing, because this is just wild coincidence territory. I posted it in the Slack, whoever is feeling up to reading these very long sentences, and flowery sentences, one might say.
Go ahead, Sage.
Oh, here it is. Honored guests, we are thrilled that such interesting individuals will be counted among our garden's jewels for the duration of your stay. In exchange for your graceful acceptance of our time-honored rights of entrance, I offer recompense in the form of tokens grown from my personal conservatory. I hope they serve you well in the challenges ahead. I will be watching with fervent anticipation, and hope each of you preserve to bask in the adoration of victory. With affection, her verdant majesty, the Green Lady.
And accompanying this was a box full of tokens that, as you open up all the smaller boxes, you see living flowers of different varieties labeled for each of you. And Aoife's, I shit you not, is an orchid with all the meaning, and I've picked it out for you exactly why. That's ridiculous.
We did not plan this. We talked separately.
It's a same brain moment. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And Tony, the one included for you is a luscious, like, golden-colored marigold.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my god, how beautiful.
And immediately, as you touch these items, as is the rule in 5th edition, you can tell that they are magic items.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, if you want to kind of figure out what these things are, maybe, Tony, with all of your herbalism knowledge, I think you might have a leg up on the symbolism of what both of these flowers mean.
Yeah, what should I do? Like a nature or
I would say you could do nature,
insight?
or you could do history, or you could actually use your herbalist kit if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Herbalist kit. Okay, let's go with wisdom then for you, because like the stories passed down what you know about like brewing different potions with various flowers, the language of flowers.
Okay, great. Just a regular old wisdom check.
With proficiency, because you're using your herbalist tools.
Fabulous. 16?
Okay, yeah, so I think both of these flowers, I mean, you've probably heard, you know, your mom has talked about them, even if you haven't, like, worked with them personally. But you know that orchids are flowers that kind of reinforce mystic abilities. They help one focus on like connections to the outer realms, the spiritual, the magic, one might say. So that's orchids. And then marigolds are used for, they have healing properties, they repel negativity, they have a symbolism like of association with the afterlife or the dead. So both of these have pretty intense significance here. So, I will say,
Cool.
both of these items are basically once per long rest kind of use. They can only be used while you're in the wilds, but they will stay with you. It's not like a one and done kind of situation.
Oh, cool.
So whenever you're in the wilds, the lady's magic will take effect, and you can use these cool things. So I guess we can. You probably have enough time sitting around after now. Maybe that's one of the things you were doing as you're looking at the poem, playing with these things to figure out what the heck is going on. But yeah, so the orchid. So Aoife, the orchid for you is. Let me make sure I get this right. Where did I put that note? Okay. All right. So once per long rest, just as like a free action, you can use the orchid. You can expend its power to recover a spell slot of third level or lower.
Ooh, cool.
And you can do that once per long rest.
Very cool. That's exciting.
Yeah, so helps you focus your spiritual power and reawaken some of that mystic energy. And then Tony, for you, so the marigold, it has a number of hit points equal to your proficiency bonus times 5.
Whoa. Number of hit points equal to my proficiency times 5.
So it'll get more powerful as you level up, essentially. And when you take damage, you can choose to transfer any amount of that damage to the marigold, and the marigold will take it instead of you.
Cool.
But if you ever reduce the marigold to 0 hit points, so you spend that last thing, it is permanently destroyed.
Okay.
And the marigold regains all hit points at the end of a long rest.
Okay.
Damn.
So you basically have a free buffer of a growing number of hit points that the marigold will take for you.
Incredible.
That's fucking sick.
Pretty.
Blossom Court Sovereign! Magic items, nothing to sniff at. She
very delicately puts it in her little traveling garden kit.
Yeah, you're like, oh my god, so beautiful. And it seems to, when you hold it too, it just seems to be bigger and glorious, and just, same thing with the orchid, like, god, mortal flowers never look this good. Also, they don't even have roots or dirt, they just are perfect blossoms that never seem to wilt or be crushed or...
Oh, man.
Just perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. So that gift, might impress a little bit of what you might anticipate from a Blossom Court Sovereign upon you. But yeah, so those were all the gifts and the excitement. So Aoife is writing this poem that's so fucking funny. It's about the orchid. I can't get over that. And did I say take a point of inspiration for that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. Tony, what have you been doing in this past hour of waiting?
Other than taking a very long time to admire these flowers, sharpening and cleaning her sword from their last little encounter, since we're eventually going to do a trial of our own for Valor. Just taking care of her tools.
Yeah. And, similarly, I think Ravane and Rook at a certain point get bored and they're, like, probably sparring with each other in a corner. Something they both seem to enjoy when they are feeling nervous. Just waiting to see who is going to be called next. And just at the point where it becomes almost unbearable that nothing has happened so far, the door finally opens and you see 2 of these like rose-headed Magnaphyta come in, and they say, "Trial of Artistry." You, and point at you, Aoife.
Yeah, Aoife jolts up and, she tucks her orchid into her, like, into a breast pocket so it, like, is, like, spreading out and brightening her outfit.
Yeah,
and
you can see, because those orchids have those, like, weird little roots, it'll twist and, like, send out those roots to grow and root itself, however you position it.
Love it. Yeah, she is absolutely enchanted by this thing. Before we dive in, do we want to do the Tales of the Valiant character recap?
Yes! Alright, so we are about to start Aoife's trial, and there will be a big spellcasting component, so we don't want you to be surprised, audience. Aoife has changed a little bit since last we met, so Sage, tell us a little bit about what's up.
Indeed, so since last time we had also received our level, decided to switch Aoife over to be a Tales of the Valiant Bard. So very excited. I rebuilt her completely from scratch, starting over with attributes, lineages, heritage, and background and everything. So now officially Aoife is a beastkin lineage, so that definitely encapsulates her satyrness.
Yeah. Which
has,
one did you go with? Which subtype?
oh gosh, I wrote it down
Agile?
somewhere.
That probably, or...
Yes, I did the agile. So I have a climbing speed, in addition to a walking speed, and I have advantage on saves made to avoid being knocked prone.
A sure-footed goat hooves.
Yes, so takes place of her mirthful leaps, but I think is definitely a nice little upgrade. She also has the vexed heritage. Which I felt like very kind of nicely tied in the fact that she's been kind of touched by the sleeping court. And then she has the artist background.
Cool.
And then with the cool thing about having the Bard Tales of the Valiant class is that cutting words and some other of like those bardic features, they're all kind of tied into one thing called bardic performance. And each time I do a bardic performance, I can choose a different type, and it has some really cool kind of benefit. So I'm very, very excited to be able to use that, hopefully soon. And then the biggest thing also is the spell list. So bards have access to the arcane spell list. So her spell list looks very different to what it did before. So she has a much broader expanse of spells that she can choose from that she knows. And yeah, so good stuff. I'm excited to see it come out in game.
Yeah, for sure. Spells will be a big part of today, so yes, we'll get to see some of those cool choices there. But yeah, so just so no one's surprised when Aoife whips out some, you're like, that's a wizard spell. Not anymore, Tales of the Valley, it's arcane, baby. Hell yeah. So, as you are separated from the rest of your party, by the way, the guards give you no indication of what the hell is going on with Lou, or not, or if she won, or if that trial's still going. Who knows? But you are led down this, like, long corridor. You know, it's everything here is open aired. There's not like a lot of buildings, but the way hedges are grown, and it's like everywhere you're going is a very restricted garden. So the hallways are actually just like rigidly tall, you know, hedge maze walls around you, and you're headed down this long passageway, and you go, there's a left and a right and left and right, and you're like, oh god, trying to get out of here, like the maze, this huge hedge maze would be a nightmare without any kind of escort, which is a little concerning as you think about it. But all of a sudden, this scenery, this flat, like endless green, changes, and the sound, I think, is the first thing that hits you as this open space that basically looks like an outdoor amphitheater with this like really flat packed ground and tiers of people surrounding you, and they cheer like as you step inside. And as you're looking at the people in these stands, these are clearly reading to you like just members of the Blossom Court, because you're seeing plant people in all varieties, people that look like just literal plants that you have no idea, they don't seem to have eyes or faces, but they're sitting there, they're watching, people of all kinds of different fey stripes. Usually most of them have some kind of like leaf or flower floral motif, so perhaps fey that have joined the court, like other than just being like straight plant creatures, and all of them are cheering and having a good time. And as you're realizing, this is very much like a like a tournament style event. You know, you've been to a couple of these, like, in your time. They used to have stuff like this in the Valley. You know, Eldrin are certainly fond of their medieval style tournaments and games. But this whole feeling of fanfare and anticipation is just, like, overwhelming the crowd as these guards sort of push you, like, into the middle of this space. Where you can see that there is another individual who is standing in the center of this mass here. It's another of these Magnophyta that you've gotten used to seeing now. Their head is like a giant, almost like a daisy shape, except with a lot more petals of purple. You recognize it like an aster flower?
Mm-hmm.
So they are standing there, and they're dressed like... Their body is, of course, those woven vines, but you see, like, purple, like, threads that are woven all through it and, like, kind of hang decoratively from them, and they have this, like, glorious cape that they kind of, like, sweep to the side, and they're bowing to the audience, and they seem to be a fan favorite, because every time they do so, the audience just, like, "Rah!" He, like, screams for this flower person. And then, in front of all of that, you see there's like a raised box where 3 individuals are seated, and clearly these 3 are important in some manner. And then just above that, like sitting above the stands, there is an even higher box at which the top is kind of like a veiled by ivy and greenery like box. You can barely make out that there's maybe a figure on a throne like in there, but you can't see directly. So you're like, oh, okay, that's probably the sovereign who's going to be watching this event. But back to those 3 individuals sitting at this like mid-tier stand in front of you. Nassim, you are going to be portraying our judges today. So would you like to give kind of a visual description of these 3 individuals overseeing the arena?
Sure. You are probably immediately drawn to the very biggest of them, who is a gigantic male troll, and he is dripping in bone accessories from like his size. Like he's got full femurs around his neck and chained from one to another, and he's carrying one very large, you don't even know what that could have come from, femur, like holding
like a dragon bone or some shit.
Like his, yeah, exactly. And then sitting next to him in the middle is this very delicate, beautiful, young female pixie who is kind of buzzing around and shaking with excitement with the rest of the crowd. She's got a giant flower crown sitting on her head, and then little flower bracelets all around with little bows tied to them. So their ribbons are flowing while she's like kind of dancing around herself with excitement. And then next to her, the last judge you see is this male gnome who is very old, very wrinkly, immaculate dress robes and horn-rimmed glasses, kind of curly, wizzy hair. And he is not flinching. He is just immediately sizing you up and staring you down and waiting for you to do something.
And so these are the 3 people that are sitting in front of you as you kind of are led to this center arena. And this Magnophyta like swirls their body around towards you and goes, oh, sizes you up. So you're the competition.
And Aoife will gesture to the crowd and give a hand of recognition to each of the judges, and will curtsy graciously. I'll say, I hope you're ready.
The person just like, they don't have eyes, but you can see the way their petals shake. It's very reminiscent of like rolling your eyes, like whatever that gesture is. And then they sort of mimic your gesture back to the audience, like raise a hand and the rah, that you got that like response from the audience too. They're keyed up, they're hype, ready to go, and you hear from somewhere above of you, like a booming voice, Fae, humanoids, and otherwise, welcome to the Trial of Artistry! And everyone's like, yeah! Like, as this happens. And you can see that from somewhere up above you, this voice is, like, magically amplified from what appears to be a very small person, maybe a fairy, maybe not, like flying around on this like bright purple dragonfly that's just like zipping around the crowds here. Welcome everyone to today's event. As you know, we have some guests to the Blossom Court hoping to win entry to see Our Lady, and everyone's like, Lady, you know, cheering out in the audience as this happens. Of course, you have all seen The Trial of Cunning, and what a show that was, right? Right, everyone? What a show that was! Yeah! Everybody's clapping. You're like, what the fuck? But now, we have something a little bit different. Please, let's come in. You all know them. You all love them. It is Aster Court Wizard! Yeah, woo! Everybody cheers as this, like, Aster-headed individual bows once again. Clearly that's them. But of course, we've got to meet our other contestant, our newcomer, coming for the reigning champion title. Please, introduce yourself. And this, like, zip, like, leans over, and they're holding out, like, a stick to you, like a microphone. It seems to be amplifying their voice somehow as they shove it, like, right in your face.
Yeah, and Aoife says, I am Sersha, apprentice to Mistress Silk, renowned dream spinner and color weaver.
Ooh, well, you've heard it here, Sersha. Let's give the newcomer a big welcome cheer. Woo! As this goes off once again. And of course, our event would be nothing without the help of our wonderful judges. So let's go ahead and meet the panel here. Please, judges, introduce yourselves for those who don't obviously recognize you. And the mic goes out to our first judge, our Pixie.
Pixie is hello, everyone, my beauties. You all look so fresh and dewy this morning. I can't wait for this new contestant to show us their grit and their stuff. I am Meadow
Song. The audience cheers. Clearly, maybe these judges have done this before. You're starting to get that impression, Aoife, that this is actually an event that maybe people do more than you would thought. Oh, Meadow Song of our hearts. Am I right, Faye? Yes.
Oh God.
Yes. Yay! And of course, our next judge. You know him. You hate him. They hold out the microphone to the gnome.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'm looking forward to see what new spellcasting I could possibly learn from today, but as you know me, as you, I guess, hate me,
Yeah, we
Lucky
hate
duckies.
you! Look at that crowd cheers.
at
like,
your
enjoy.
service.
Oh, you know, it's all in good fun, my friend, all in good fun.
Plucky ducats, oh my god.
My favorite thing is naming no NPCs. So, Plucky Ducats! Everybody, you know, Plucky! Unfazed, I imagine, by this. And, of course, the thunder from down under! Over to the troll.
And the troll gets up, almost flipping the table over
And there's
to the size of
like a
his
scared
fucking
noise
belly.
from the audience.
Yeah, and he like thrusts this massive bone up into the air, like shoves the mic away. He doesn't need it.
Oh,
He
wow.
goes,
Oh, okay.
I am Bone Crusher! Bring the show!
Crusher from the audience all around. All right, and getting back on his dragonfly, the poor little fairy MC is like, ah. And with that, we know our contestants, we know our judges. Once again, for those of you who are new to this event, let's break it down. So, of course, what are Fae known for? spells, magic, like coming from. Of course, you all know that. But what we love to see is the artistry of casting, the way you weave magic, especially when a mortal is watching. Am I right? Yeah! So that's what we're exploring here today. Aster, you are, of course, the reigning champion. You know the rules. But let's make everything clear, everything above board, so our young mortal friend here will get a clue. So, essentially, Sage, here's how this test is going to work. There are going to be 5 rounds. Each round, you and then Aster are going to get a chance to pick a spell, to cast this spell, and then to do it in the most performance and artistic way possible. So in terms of mechanics, each of the judges has their own individual biases, like particular things they're looking for. Some of them care, it could be really anything, like maybe the school of the spell, or the way you describe how you do it, or the power of the spell. Like, these are all factors that could potentially come into play. Each judge, Nassim has been given a list of judge preferences, things they like, things they don't like, and you are going to be given a chance to go up there. You do have to expend the spell slot when you cast it, so obviously your options are going to be more limited as rounds go on. You are going to cast each spell, spend the spell slot, and then you will have to roll, basically, an ability check to see how well you execute the spell. The DC of which is going to equal similar to like a Dispel Magic situation, so the DC of these will equal 10, plus the level of the spell you're going to cast.
Mm-hmm.
If you cast over it, you execute the spell perfectly. If you cast under it, you still do cast the spell, but perhaps there's something funny or weird that happens, right? You don't quite stick the landing, whatever it is. Like, that can build into your description. And then you're going to give us the description of how you're casting the spell, what the performance aspect of it is. Once you've done that,
cool.
All 3 of the judges will give you an individual score. You can score 0, 1, or 2. And then the other person will go, and then the round will end, and we'll do it again. So it'll be 5 rounds total. Yeah, that's kind of the deal. Any questions on your end?
Yeah, seems all good to me.
Okay, all right. So as you know, the rules are explained to you very quickly by the MC, not in that level of detail, of course. You know, you basically take your positions across from Aster here. As our reigning champion, Aster, you, of course, will be going first. Are you ready? And Aster's like, of course, my friend. You know how I love to entertain the people! Yeah, we're the people! Like, coming from the audience here. You gonna give us any insight, any particular strategies today that we should watch out for? Well, you know, we are facing someone entirely new to our kingdom, someone who has never been to a Blossom Court event, so, of course, I don't want to give anything away, right? The surprise is half the fun. Oh, Aster, you are so right. You all ready to see some magic? Yeah! Judges, are you ready? Oh, I think you are muted.
Plucky Ducats leans forward, ready.
Judges, any final words of encouragement before our trial begins?
Make it show-stopping.
Good. Yes. Of course. Plucky always says it best. So, there's like a big booming speaker sound, and everyone kind of cringes in the audience. And then Aster steps up to the plate. So Aster, this Magnifica, you see, turns around in a circle, very precise, like, motions, very practiced movement, and flicks kind of a hand towards, like, this part of the arena away from the rest of the crowd. And you see, like, this little, like, vine dummy, like, pops up out of the ground. here, and they throw out with a perfect and precise gesture, as you see this like bolt of lightning just arcs out of their hands. So they are casting a 3rd level lightning bolt spell. And they're doing it with a perfect practice precision of somebody who has done this 1,000 times and does it excellently with very little artistry or fuss in the matter. And you see, I'm going to roll my ability check. Okay. So on that check, which once again, this is going to be a d20 plus your charisma modifier is what we're using for this. So, yep, precisely. Passes the check, succeeds with a DC with a 16, and then just blows up this mannequin. It's like blown to pieces. There's no question about it. And just turns around on a heel, bows, and steps forward to the judges. Oh, that was quite a show, everyone! Shocking, if you will. But judges, of course, let's hear from you. Opening round, what are your thoughts?
A bone crusher is slamming down his giant femur bone and goes, "Big boom, big good boom," and holds up his little number 2.
And Aster holds up a hand to the audience, like, hell yeah, bitches! Gets full score from Bone Crusher. All right.
A 2 is a full score? Wait, what?
0, 1, and 2 are the highest.
Okay. Got it.
So basically, the highest possible you can get in a single round is 6, and the highest possible maximum, if you score perfect every round, is out of 30.
Yeah, okay.
Plucky Ducket then leans forward and has like the pencil to his chin. There was a fair amount of destruction. You seem to succeed just fine. I suppose it will do. That's a 2.
And throws up. Aster throws up their hands once again, victoriously to the crowd. And Meadow Song. Is it a perfect run? Perfect start for our returning champion?
You know, I just don't love the, where was the excitement? It was just so over so quickly.
The crowd's like murmuring to each other, oh my god, oh no.
Yeah, I think you just might want to work on the delivery a little bit more. So I'm going to give you a 0.
And the audience gasps around, and Aster has clearly done this enough times. I think Aoife, you don't even need an insight check to do the gracious oh, it hurts but I understand and I'm listening kind of bow, and the audience is
for sure.
Oh, man, Aster, what a pro. All right, what a thrilling change of pace. But of course, now we have our new challenger stepping up. Sorsha, give it everything you've got!
Beautiful. So she is going to, for her first spell, is going to cast just a humble level 1 grease.
Ooh, a level 1 grease. Okay. So go ahead and roll me that spell casting check. So your DC is 11 for a first level spell.
Natural 20, bitches.
Oh, so you succeed.
For 25.
Yeah, all right. Hell yeah. So you blow that check out of the water. So give us that description. Sell it to us, baby.
So you see that she actually takes out a beautifully stitched floral print, handkerchief, and she douses it in oil, and she wipes the bottom of her shoes with this oil dripped rag, and then she kind of ice skates around in a circle, and she creates this in the 10-foot square of grease, a kind of lotus pattern within grease, and then she takes out a torch and then lights it, so it's just whoosh.
Oh, there's a from the audience here as this happens. Wow, some definite moves happening here. Judges!
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Meta song is just, I'm a flutter right now. I was just like enthralled the whole time. I did not know where you were going with that. That's a 2 for me. That's a 2 for me.
Oh, that's a 2! And there's like a cheer. It's not, the full stadium because you're new. They're warming up to you, but there's a solid, like, hell yeah, new person. Get it. All right, we've won Meadow Song's heart. But other judges, let's weigh in.
Bone Crusher is looking a little less excited. Small boom. 1.
1. Ah, still respectable, Bone Crusher. All right, but let's hear it from the man himself, Plucky. And there's a from the audience as they go quiet.
Well, it was a strong start. And a fairly strong finish. You can take the 2.
Aoife lets out this visible sigh of relief as she was like on the tips of her toes, like, what is he gonna say?
Oh my God, everyone! All right. Looking ahead, a strong start from our contestants. Let's look at those scores. And then up in just lights, giant numbers just float in the sky. There's no scoreboard or anything. Aster in purple, 4 total points at the end of round 1. And of course, our new challenger. What color would you like Aoife's stuff to be in? Pink. All right, and in hot, like flaming pink, you see 5 points. That means our newcomer slightly ahead of the reigning champion. This could be anyone's game. Judges, are you ready for the next round to begin?
Bring boom, bring big boom.
Yes, Bone Crusher, bring the boom. And the audience will chant that around. And of course, rules as follows. Whoever scored highest during the last round is the one who starts us off. So, Sorsha, we come to you.
I think she is going to take Bone Crusher's advice to heart, and she is going to cast Ice Storm.
Okay, that's a 4th level?
Yes.
4th level Ice Storm. So go ahead and roll that check. You need a DC 14 for a 4th level spell.
And that is a 13 plus 5, 18.
18. All right, so you succeed and get an 18 on that check. And tell us a little bit about what this Ice Storm looks like.
So she... I imagine this environment is pretty humid because of how much the plants need to take in all of this water from around them constantly. And so she absorbs in some of that water from the air, and she shivers and she breathes a couple of you see that the air that she breathes out becomes chilled and cold, and a couple of ice cubes form in her hand, which she then juggles for a few seconds, and then they fly up into the air and then just come careening back down as these like baseball-sized chunks of hail that just completely obliterate one portion of this arena.
Yeah, I imagine it's like if you dumped a bunch of baseballs onto like a squishy foam floor, right? There's just like dirt, like all over this arena as this is happening. Whoa! And the MC is also like jutting as fast as possible out of the area because of the huge like cone of the spell. Wahoo! That was a close call, everyone, but an impressive display. But of course, our judges have the final say.
Oh. Crushed ice! Crushed ice!
Crushed ice! Crushed ice! Yeah! The crowd echoes Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher, give 2!
2! The crowd cheers. Hell yeah. Alright, Bone Crusher is impressed. Other judges?
Wow, my goodness, I don't think I've ever seen ice do that before. Like, You just have to show me. It was itty bitty, and then it. How? Wow. Okay. I mean, what a show! What a show! That's a 2 for me too.
Oh, another 2! Sorsha seems to be the golden satyr of the hour. But of course, the toughest judge of all, ooh, comes from the crowd. Plucky, what are your thoughts?
I feel we're seeing some new material here. Fair display of power. You can have the 2.
Fae and humanoids, a perfect round! A perfect round! And the crowd goes nuts as this is happening. When was the last time we had a perfect round? I think it was our Aster, their opening call last time, but not since then. Faekind, have we had such a turn of play? Will Aster come back from this? We'll have to see after these messages.
And Aoife's definitely like cheesing to the crowd, pumping her fist in the air.
Oh yeah, they are fucking loving this. Aster looks a lot more lavender than that rich purple they did. They seem to be just going a little bit pale with this. But so after blah, 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 blah from these sponsors, you didn't hear anything, Aoife, but the rest of the crowd was reacting like something was happening, so you're like, I don't know, what? As this was going on, so whatever these sponsorships are, who knows? Some magical bullshit. But, like, Aster, in this meantime, you've had, like, kind of this little downtime moment while this has happened, and he's like, alright, you think you're hot shit now, but I was casting spells before you were, like, born. And he makes, like, a really gross, like, biological sound.
And Aoife's like, you are clearly incredibly talented. There's much to learn from you in terms of form, for sure.
Fine. They don't know what to do with your overwhelming good sportsmanship. As they kind of stomp away and take that spot in front of the judges. All right, folks. Can Aster win back the day? Let's see. And Aster, like, dramatically, like, dancer move, kind of, like, goes down to the ground, right? Like, with both their hands, leaf hands, like, in front of their face. And then all of a sudden, like, springs up into this, like, flurry of movement where they're swirling around and doing this strange, almost like a dance thing as they send various, like, tendrils out of their body, kind of thumping like a circle in rhythm around them, and the ground like starts to quake. And people, even like in the stands, you can feel a little bit of this vibration as they send out like a long, elegant blade hand, and you see like creeping up out of the ground at their beck is like a little plant sprout, and then they turn to the other side dramatically, and another little plant sprout awaken, and you see like a ring of these things start to form around as they are casting a 3rd level plant growth spell. And they're going to go ahead and roll their check. Okay, that is a 19. Hell yeah. All right. We're trying to earn it back. 19 on that check. And you see as they're continuing to like move the leaves in these like come hither gesture and dance around, addressing each plant in time, these sprouts grow huge as they're going like 6 feet, 7 feet, 8 feet until you see the blooming heads of these things open up. And they sprout into these teeth-filled like snap dragons almost, as these like carnivorous plants all like dance out of the ground cool. And are like snapping at each other and like bobbing and weaving, and he goes shh, and all the plants like rest their heads and wait patiently as he bows and waits for judging. The crowd is silent and tense. Can he do it? Can Esther get the title back?
Plucky Ducats is staring at the numbers and really considering things here. Well, I wasn't expecting to see so much dancing today.
Oh, shit.
Esther bows his head like sort of, okay, solemnly. Ready?
But there is an impressive display we've seen at the same time. I would perhaps focus on that more instead in the future, if you're capable of taking notes. Have a two.
And there's a like from as he's like, oh god, okay, yeah, Astor, and like bows graciously, turns to the other judges.
Yeah, I mean, I get where you're coming from, Plucky, but I think we had a great new show this round. I mean, I'm not a fan of outfit repeating, and only thing worse than that is copycatting. But I think you really made it your own. So yeah, have a two.
Thank you. He bows to that. Okay. And turns an eye towards Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher still waiting for boom. 1.
And another gracious bow, but you can tell just a little bit in that stride, like Astor is not quite. Ooh, a strong round from both contestants, but we are starting to see a bit of a pull ahead here from Sorsha. Sorsha, before we continue on, because as the winner of that round, you will be starting once again. Please, just tell the audience a little bit about your spellcasting inspiration. And the mic is shoved into your face.
And it's kind of like when you watch an NBA player give an interview after a game and they're sweating and kind of panting.
Yeah, like, why are you talking to me?
Like, you expect me to word right now? And she's like, oh, yes, of course. Well, I was raised, in a far away land in the Valley of Yolanthanal, and my dear blessed parents, my father is a musician and my mother is a trapeze artist, and together they imbue with me their incredible creativity, and so I always seek to weave together the threads of magic into a beautiful tapestry.
Oh, there's a sigh, like, oh, how sweet from the audience. Well, you heard it. We are dealing with a person with parents. Hi, everyone. Parents. Wow.
Novelty.
Yep, that's the thing. They're like, oh, wow. Like, what a cute story.
Wait.
Oh my god, people. Wow. So
funny.
You're winning the hearts of the Fae everywhere. You're so interesting. But, alright, folks, you know what time it is. Bam! Bam! Points those fingers up dramatically, and the big floating numbers appear once again. Right now, here are the current scores. In the lead, newcomer Sorsha with 11 points compared to the reigning champion's return of 9. 2 points ahead. But can she keep the lead? Let's find out. Judges, are you ready for round 3?
Yes, come on. Let's bring it on, guys.
You heard her, bring it on! Sorsha, the stage is yours.
Are the plants still there that Astor has summoned?
If you want them to be. You can assume the field is cleared. At this point, you can pretty much assume anything you want. Like, Astor made a dummy pop out of whatever. Like, you have free reign. It's a fey-ass world. Use what you want.
So, Aoife she's going to cast a 3rd level fly.
Okay.
And we'll throw that down.
3rd level
Hot shit. That is an 18 plus 5, so 23.
All right. He's rolling
fucking
bitch.
fired.
Okay, so a success and a hella good number. All right.
So she runs to the perimeter of the arena, and because she's a beastkin and she's agile, she is going to start running up the side of the walls, and then will bounce off, do a little flip, and right before she just like dives head first into these carnivorous, tooth snapping plants, she throws out a handful of feathers, and from her back, wings sprout, saving her just in the nick of time as one of these snapdragons tries to snatch her out of the air.
We've got a flying satyr, fake kind. Oh, look at her go! But of course, it's not up to us. Judges, what do you think?
Well, I think it's good to be good. But good isn't good enough. You need to be extraordinary. And that was extraordinary.
Aoife's eyes just like lights up.
Oh, the audience was there with you every moment. Oh, it's probably a really good feeling, Aoife, to have an audience like this side that are so fucking invested in literally everything that happens to you.
Oh, it reaches that feeling. It sinks its claws right into her, and she can feel her fey portion of her rumbling in her body, like yes, attention.
Oh man! So that's a 2 from Plucky.
2 from Plucky.
All right.
Meadow Song is like humming and dancing, and like she's making up lyrics on her own because that was just so inspiring. I've been on a lot of trips in my life. The fun kinds is what I'm talking about right now.
Yes.
And I mean, I would have never, I don't think in the wildest dreams, been able to imagine such a scene that you've just given us. I think you've deserved, you earned that too.
Another 2! Can she
bows graciously.
be stopped? I don't think so. It's up to Bone Crusher.
Bone Crusher, he's like, where? I thought you smashed into Flower still alive. 1.
1. Not a perfect score anymore. Bone Crusher bringing the pain. All right, but still a very strong round for our new competitor. Aster, it's your time to step on up. Perhaps, is this the round? Things get shaken up? Let's see. And Aster is going to flip through his garden spellbook.
Bone Crusher shouts from his little table, "Bring pain! Bring more pain!"
Bring more pain! Bring more pain!
Pain! The audience just like echoes out after. And Aster will step forward, and this one's for you, Bone Crusher. And then start like this back and forth, like running for a minute, and you're like, what the fuck is he doing at first? As he just seems to be sprinting, like back and forth, just repeatedly between places. You're like, what is this guy? And as like his steps gain momentum, and you see he starts to run with a speed that mortal creatures certainly could not achieve, there's this very distinct line that gets starting to like burned into the earth and like sparking motions as like fire is starting to spin up around the feet of this individual as he casts a 4th level firestorm.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Good shit.
So let's DC 14. Gonna make that ability check. Okay. That is a 15. 15 on the die. Scraping by there, buddy. But 15 success as he goes, and this fire continues, and the sparks become like roaring like flames along the side of it here, and you see that Aster begins to actually scoop up the flame like into his leaves, and it's singeing and clearly like hurting him as this has happened, but new green shoots are like sprouting out, so he has like 8 or kind of burning arms like of these flames at the same time, and then at one point just tosses it all up into the air with a very big dramatic, almost like a firework shape that goes pew! And then as it explodes and just this rain of fire like launches down on the ground, destroying the plants from before, like burning the ground so it becomes like this black glass all around the place. And at the end of it, right, like you see the smoke clears, and like standing with like a leaf, hardened shell over his head is the slightly like burned and singed form of Aster in the middle of all of the chaos. Muted.
What spell level did you say that was?
4th.
Okay.
So 4th level to complement that ice storm.
Bone Crusher's happy. Bone Crusher is banging that bone up in the air over his head. Ah, yes! Crush! Fire! Burn!
Fire!
2!
Yeah!
2!
There's
Big
like a
2!
Fire wave going on in the audience.
I believe we're seeing something a little bit similar in this round, and I'd like to see something. For God's sakes, I've been alive almost a century. Take a 1.
Oh, a one from Plucky. All right, Meadow Song. It's up to you. Is this round a tie?
Yeah, I think it was something special for sure. You've got a lot of promise. Let's say that. But I also feel like we're seeing a pattern here. And I've never been a big fan of patterns, solid colors only. I think it's going to be a 1 for me as well.
Oh my gosh, round 3, and things are starting to look grim for the champion, everybody, but that is it. That is our round 3. We will be taking a short snack break. Please visit the Fae stands all around you. Get your tasty mulch treats brought to you by blah, 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 and like it goes like really silent again, Aoife, for you specifically. And you're like, what is everybody hearing that I am not hearing? But there seems to be like a little 5-minute break for the contestants here. And you actually see now that there's like a little tent area that's been kind of set up by the judges' stands. And Aster just stomps like into this stand, clearly not stoked about what is happening here.
Yeah, Aoife immediately beelines towards like the pitcher of water and is just chugging water because she's just like just sweating bullets. She's so nervous.
It's a lot of people like staring at you. It's it's getting definitely very intense. All right, looking at those scores, Aoife, you're killing it. You're killing it. Yeah, and you see also actually Aster is doing very much the same thing, except not like dumping. You see kind of lifts up a bunch of roots on his body and just like dumps them into the big jug of water, and it's just like, oh, man. So you see the vines like slurping up the water. And yeah, while the two of you are kind of in this tent, Aster's like, who are you?
And Aoife is like really not sure what to do with that, and she's like, well, I'm here to see the Sovereign on very important business. I make clothes. I'm not sure. I'm just a normal person.
Normal mortals don't just walk into the sovereign court. Who do you work for? The forest court?
And she is going to do a deception check because she does not want to reveal that information.
Yeah, go for it.
And she's like, well, as I said in my introduction, I'm an apprentice to Mr. Silk in Coven. I create clothes. It's definitely my desire to be able to work with the Blossom Court Sovereign because she has impeccable taste. And
Was that lie?
18 on her deception check.
18, okay. I'm gonna give a disadvantage because he's pretty damn flustered right now. Yeah, he's just looking at you like, huh. Alright. I've never met anyone from Coven, but I guess the witches there clearly know their shit. Fine. But I'm keeping an eye on you, Sorsha.
I mean no disrespect or harm. I'm... Well, I better get back to it. She just kind of turns.
Yeah, you better. Staring you down. And then, the 5 minutes, uncomfortably elapse. And then, of course, you hear the echo of the MC. All right, folks, we hope you are full of nutrition, H2O, and ready to get back into it, because things are getting hot. Let's update those scores. And you see the big sparkle flames in the sky, in purple and pink, of course, update to your new scores. Aoife currently with 16. So Sorsha flashing in lights, that big 16 flashing up there with an underscore because you're winning, next to the slightly smaller and sadder 13 points, currently accumulated by Aster. All right, folks, can she keep this train rolling? It's time to find out again as the victor of the last round. Sorsha, you will be stepping up to the plate, but we haven't heard from our judges in a while. Anything you would like to add? Any commentary? How do you feel this event is going?
I think we're seeing a lot of great stuff from our contestants today. I just want to remind them that it's not over until it's over, and it can really be anyone's game still.
True that. All right, Meadowsong. Of course, we're delighted to hear from you, as always, but let's hear from our other judges as well. Bonecrusher, what's your read on the situation so far?
Bonecrusher needs more fire.
More fire, always good, always a good call. And Plucky, any words of wisdom to add? We know you've got so many.
It'd be nice if once in a while people actually took them to heart and gave us something worth our time here. I think we've all got plenty to do. And I'd like to be impressed at some point.
Right. That never-ending quest to impress the ducks. Hopefully this will be the time. One of these games. We'll get you. We'll get you, Plucky. But until then, let's commence with the action. Sorsha, what have you got?
So, meta question for you. So for something like Phantasmal Killer, which roots into the mind of one person, would I just basically choose one judge to impress, or?
Yeah, essentially,
okay.
If you could only affect one creature, yeah.
Okay. All right, I don't think is gonna work for the, well, maybe. We'll try. We'll see. We'll take a risk. So she is going to cast Phantasmal Killer, which is a level 4 spell.
Mm.
And she's going to cast it targeting Plucky Duckets.
Plucky
So,
Duckets.
Plucky Duckets. Oops.
Ducket. I'll say he automatically feels that because he's, a good sport.
Oh, very nice.
But yeah,
So,
roll your check.
Okay.
Fourth level.
And since we're doing a level 4 slot, so that I'm going to use my inspiration because we want to nail this.
Oh no, DC 14, what did you roll?
We got 9 plus 5 for 14 with that advantage, so
all right, so
scraping by.
Success, but just made it. All right.
So Aoife takes out this small little felt, just like vaguely humanoid shaped felt thing, and she holds it up to the air and like blocks her vision of Plucky Duckets with it. And she focuses intently, just all of her ire into the small felt doll. And within Plucky Duckets' mind, he sees the most nightmarish things that he can possibly imagine. So for Plucky, who wants to be impressed, I imagine it's just like the most banal, dry, horrific, boring lecture about spell casting.
From someone who's not a professional, I think also, like, is key to it. Like, some amateur, let me teach you how to be a professional.
Yeah, full of confidence and bluster, but it's completely wrong.
Oh my god.
And then when when it ends, the felt doll just like puffs into a puff of smoke and just drifts away, and her arms kind of fall slowly by her side, so she gives him a knowing nod.
And the MC goes, I think that was it, folks. Judges.
Yeah, I'm like really confused. Like, did she do it? All right, I guess it's gonna be a 0 for me. I'm sorry.
Ooh, a 0. But Meadow Song's right. I think a spell happened. Plucky, you want to confirm for us?
Really trying not to give anything away that just happened. Well, someone certainly has high hopes for themselves. And lucky for them, I'm not a spiteful person. So you can have your 2.
A 2 from Plucky. All right, something impressive must have happened, folks. That is a 2. But Bone Crusher, do you agree with Plucky? Or are you going with Meadow Song on this one?
Bone Crusher's also confused, but is like knows something went down between the two of them and really likes that Plucky seems so unsettled.
Big fan of that.
Plucky looks mad.
That's enough. Is that enough?
2.
A 2 is enough. The hatred is so strong. All right, Bone Crusher. It's a little weird, but we're here for it. We are here for it. All right, folks. Well, a surprise throw from Meadow Song, but will it be enough to offset the balance of what is happening here? Let's go to Aster and figure things out. Aster, step up. Okay, so that was score 4. Okay, so Aster, just take their sweet time considering it. At this point, Aoife has thrown out 2 4th level spells. Pretty big deal. So flipping through the book, and then seems to settle on something. All right. And Aster steps forward, and you see he takes like a tiny little vial of something, just like a tiny vial. You're not sure where it was on their person, also, because other than the cloak, they don't appear to be wearing any clothing that have pockets. But comes forward, and like you can barely, the judges who are the closest can barely tell that there's something moving around in there, maybe like a little bug or something small. And we are going to cast a 4th level giant insect spell. So the cap comes off of this thing, and something flits around like out of the air and then dives into the ground. And I'm gonna go ahead and roll my spell casting. Okay, that is a 17. And as this thing is like flitting around, there's like a moment of silence, and then like bursting up out of the ground, you see this massive like centipede with like hundreds of legs on either side just like comes crunching out of the ground. And as this happens, Aster jumps like on this thing's back and like is like riding it as it like its huge body continues to go up and out of the ground, and you see it arcs and then dives back in, burrowing and like up and down like through this like ring of concentric circles that is just making around the arena, like exploding chunks of rock and like ground as this thing is like surging up and down before finally like leans up, and its head with those pincers kind of waves in front of the judges and goes in and does a little like a little smooch kiss like right in front of where Meadow Song is before like retreating down onto the ground.
My goodness. Did you say that was there a ability check for that one?
Yes, 17.
Oh, okay.
4th level, 17. What a beast, everyone! What a thing! Oh, look how cute it is. But do our judges agree?
Bone Crusher's like, oh, I want to smash! I want to smash! Two!
And the thing like chitters its giant pincers victoriously. You can tell Aster actually even throws up a fist in victory. He's just like, any victory at this point. He's like, God damn it. Probably my last 4th level spell slot. God damn it. Alright.
Well, look who just made their statement. Well done. Yeah, that's a 2 for me, babe.
Oh, yes, Aster, like on the back again, is clearly loving this, finally. 2, and 2 things are turning around, but Plucky. It comes down to Plucky.
I liked what you've done here, but it felt like you were holding back. I think you can do so much more. But we'll have a 2.
Yes! Like, as the finally, like, oh my god, what an upset! What an upset! A perfect round here at this late stage in the game. This could change everything. Never before have we had both contestants in this trial get a perfect round in the same game. This is monumental, everyone. We are here and we are seeing it. How exciting! Incredible, folks. Just incredible. Wow. But before we move on to that final round, which Aster, now pulling into the lead, will be starting, let's get a little bit more from our contestants here. You know Aster. You love Aster. But this Sorsha character, give us something else. We've got to know. We've got to know the secrets of what makes you tick. What has brought you here today to the Blossom Court? Oh yeah, you're muted, but oh yeah, I can feel that loaded question.
You're like, oh, what's brought me here today? Oh, the end of the world, whatever.
Cute. How the fuck do I answer that? Oh yeah.
And trying to play it cool, Aoife says, well, of course, as she throws a grand gesturing hand towards this prominent booth situated in this Coliseum, to have an audience with the most beautiful, gracious, and resplendent sovereign this side of the wilds.
Oh, the audience loves that. They're like, oh yeah, you do. Yeah, you're like, oh. Oh,
Who doesn't?
Oh, it is so good to see a mortal who appreciates the beauty, the grace, the wonder that is the Green Lady. Am I right, folks? Yeah! coming through. Well, I have to say, Sorsha, and I know we've still got some trials to go, but I hope you make it. I hope you all make it. We are rooting for you. All right. But of course, we've got to update those scoreboards as the finger guns are going off and those numbers flash in the sky. Now, Aoife in the hot pink displaying 20 as the total score, and then just next to it now it's slightly bigger font, 19 from Aster as we were looking.
Close game.
Right, and that's what the ooh from the crowd. 1 point. Only 1 point difference between these two. How's it gonna go? It's honestly anyone's guess. So exciting when that final round is going to be the thing that determines victory or loss. Judges, are you ready to begin the final round? Muted.
Yes, please, for goodness sakes. I can't be up much longer. I'm about ready to fall asleep as it is.
Oh, Blocky, you're so funny. All right. Well, we gotta get Plucky home in time for dinner, everyone. So let's get this party started. Aster, as the winner of the last round, you will be giving us that final spell first, just after these messages. And the audience is like, like listening to something, like they're hearing music in their head. Aoife, you don't know why you're not on this channel. It's very weird and slightly concerning, but that's okay, as we are looking at our spell list. We are out of 4th level spells. Aoife came in swinging, flipping through the book, changing all my game plans, because you've scared me now. Here we go. Looking at my druid spell list. What is going to impress the judges that I made in my head? I don't know. Oh, okay. Alright. So, yeah. Okay. Alright. We do have one... Shit. Sorry guys, this is actually really hard. Good job, Sage. You've got me scared.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So he is going to go ahead and bring the... Alright. Yeah. So at this point, Aster is clearly, like, kind of pacing back and forth, like, psyching himself up, like sort of a boxer right before, like, oh god, I've gotten hit in the face a bunch of times, and I'll just gotta stay conscious. One more round, right? So he steps up and forward and makes a very precise and gesture of prayer, you think, and seems to be, like, focusing on this, and their hands begin to move, like, back and forth, almost like sort of a rhythmic gesture. And this is happening for quite a while, as something is building, but you're not really sure until like you start to notice that his skin is glowing. It starts to like shine with this golden light. It seems to be like pouring out of every orifice in his like plant body, of which there are many. And so he's casting a 3rd level daylight spell. So, oh yes, honey. Okay, finally a good roll. So that's a 20, dirty 20, not natural, but 20 on the spellcasting check. As his body is just like glowing brighter and brighter, and not only is his body starting to glow, but everything around, like as the sky becomes this like golden light, these streaks are starting to come down, and as this is happening, those streaks are shining down on the audience members themselves, many of which are plant people. So you're starting to see their like heads, bloom out, and the leaf bodies of all of these people just being rejuvenated and refreshed by this like beautiful golden waves of light as this is happening. And he lets out like this final kind of singing, almost like droll monk note as this happens, and just like whew, all the clouds are gone and everybody's basked in this golden light. And he just makes a final bow, like an exit bow, gracefully, then steps back.
Bone Crusher is sleepy now. 1.
Looks, and Aster goes, eh. It probably like didn't occur to him that, oh right, plant people, non-plant people probably wouldn't love this. Okay, he nods.
Oh, wow, Aster, you really brought us all together for a truly shining moment there. So you've earned that too.
Smiling, nodding. Turns ominously to Plucky.
Well, I suppose it did wake me up a little bit. Have your 2.
Oh, yes, he says, like, glowing gold, like, raises the leaves to the audience, who are like, yeah! Especially the plant people are, like, now, like, super hyper, like, as all this supercharged sunlight is, they're stoked about it. Oh, a very, very strong final round from Aster, our reigning champion. But, folks, that's it. That's the last chance here, and there is still a 1-point discrepancy. If Sorsha can just meet the score, that's it. That's a tie. Now let's go. Sorsha, it's all on you! And there's like final round cheer that goes around from the audience.
And feeling this cheer and the rhythm that's pulsing through the audience, and Aoife uses her performance of creation, and she summons an exact replica of the femur that Bone Crusher has in his hand.
Okay.
And she is going to cast just a humble level 1 disguise self.
What is happening?
For a 24 total.
Okay. All right.
And you see gradually her little satyr hooves grow to be these great troll green feet, and she just like, this great green bulging just skin, and she just erupts to be as tall and exactly looking like Bone Crusher, with this femur in her hand, and she points it at Bone Crusher and says, "Now we fight," because she has scrutinous, and she can do an exact impression of someone that she's heard speak for a minute.
I think the MC goes, "Oh shit!" Like, as this is happening. Oh, did we get that check?
Yes, it was a 24.
24. Oh shit. Okay, yeah. So, holy nonsense! Whoa!
Bone Crusher thrusts up and he is like, Bone Crusher is only one and only! Bone Crusher is one and only!
Oh no!
One!
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 The upset. The upset.
The audience is like, oh my god! Bone Crusher mad! Trolls are very territorial. I guess.
She salutes with the femur to Bone Crusher, like Hearn.
Yeah. Ooh. Ooh, alright, that's a 1. That is a rough 1, but an interesting play. A ballsy move. Will it pay off with our other judges?
I mean, they say imitation is like the sincerest form of flattery or something like that. Personally, usually not a big fan of it, but I gotta say, you're really smashing that look, like down to a T. It's probably like the best cosplay I've ever seen.
Smashing it!
That's a 2.
It. That's a 2! That is a 2, Fae folks out there! Oh my god! What will that final score be?
She's like smashing the ground with the femur, kicking up dust.
Well, I suppose for a finale, it works. That's a 2.
That is a 2 in an incredible move! Sorsha wins by 1 point! And as the MC screams, you see, in the hot pink, 25 lights up in the sky next to Aster's 24 points. Just 1 point. Folks, you had to be there to believe it. Our reigning champion has been dethroned. Aster, thank you so much for playing. I'm sure you'll be back in the ring, but today we crown a new champion of artistry in the Blossom Court. Everyone give it up for Sorsha! And then just yelling all over the place. Sorsha, as our new champion, what would you like to say to the Blossom Court?
Sorsha came, and then she like transforms back down into her normal self, and like has to wobble a little bit underneath the weight of this gigantic bone, and she leans against it like a staff, and she says, I thank you so much for cheering for me. It is all of your courage and your great blessings that have inspired me in order to give this performance today. And I will be here and I would love to speak and hear with all of you, as you all are my inspiration.
Oh, what a sweet heart we have on the reigning throne. You heard it here. A new era begins. Sorsha, the sweetheart. Woo! As people cheering. And of course, Aster, I know it's difficult to lose, but any words you'd like to share with us? And Aster says, well, I'm sad to go. I look forward to learning more about Sorsha and ensuring that she will add to the benefit of our well-loved sovereign state that will always be in my heart, with my eyes completely open, and intent on guarding it forever. As he's like staring directly across, and the MC is like, thank you for that intense words. Good to remember, everyone. Good to remember, but one more time, Sorsha, congratulations. The crowd's like losing it. And of course, we have a gift to bestow unto you. Sage, what thing would you like as a reward? It can be as ridiculous as you want. It's not magic. It's just like a really, truly ridiculous artistic object of some that you will be expected to wear or carry or have on you at all times moving forward.
Oh my god.
As ridiculous as you need it to be.
I think the Blossom Court. I think it's like a really large and just absolutely gaudy and ostentatious, like golden statue of the sun that weighs just like
So
like
much.
100 pounds.
It's like a ton. There's no...
And it's like, it's on this big, heavy chain, and you're expected to wear it.
Yeah.
And she's just like, her shoulders are all hunched, and she's crumbling under the weight of it.
Dragging on the ground. There it is! Like, the MC puts it on your neck, like, oh, there she is! Beauty and grace, the sun of our lives, our artistic champion! Aoife, you may move, of course, to the final challenge and join your friend. But don't go anywhere, folks! We've got 2 more challenges to go! So everyone, please, enjoy all of the beverage stations, the food stations we have set up for you! The people of the Blossom Court, the ones who make all these events happen. We'll be back shortly, but until then, bye-bye, Sorsha! Whee!
Polite wave.
Yep, and Astra's just like doing finger eyes when you move across the way. Hell yeah, good fucking job. Aoife wins the challenge. One down.
I'd like to thank my mom.
Thank you. Oh my god, thank you, my whole family, and my parents, and people like, tell me more about that.
What's that like?
What is that?
Imagine being born. Couldn't be
But
me.
not in a pot? Like, it's like, what? What a wild world. So much victory is had, and you were ushered off into the small room. By the way, not sure if you clocked that, but they said you're ready for the final challenge now. So that, whoops. That was not made clear to you. Let me throw my mouse. I'm so excited. Good shit, man. Only 1 point away from victory?
Whew. Oh man, that was intense. I am actually physically sweating. Me, Sage.
Me too. Being an MC, I don't know. How do you feel in the scene? You did fucking killed it, by the way, with those judges.
I had so much fun. I had so much fun. I was just like loving the whole show, and being there to control it all was good.
Yeah. Nassim, just audience so you know, Nassim was a fucking fantastic sport. Like, an hour before recording, I was like, here, play 3 judges. Here's what they all like. Here's what they all hate. Here are all their likes and dislikes. Good luck. So thank you for stepping in and handling that and killing it. But yeah, that
wanted to keep you on your toes, you know?
I liked it. No is good. I was also scared as the other NPC competing. You scared me, so it was good. It was perfect. Oh boy, yeah, but that was competition. That was our show for tonight. So thank you all so much for joining us. Next time you see us on stream, we'll be back with another of these challenges. Maybe we'll learn how Lou did. Maybe we'll be looking at Tony and Rook being valorous as shit. Who knows? But catch it next time on Venture Maidens. All right. I don't have any like big admin announcements, but Sage and Nassim, anything you wanted to share for the audience? This is airing on the 20th, so not this Wednesday, but next.
Happy Nowruz. Nowruz just happened, and it's just the start of spring as well. So good time to be in the Blossom Court.
It is summer the season, but we are here in the Blossom Court enjoying all that beautiful flower. We're covered in flowers, golden suns. It's a good time. Yeah. Anything from you, Sage?
See, on the 27th, I'll be playing some Magic on stream, so come in, drop in, say hi, say what's up, hang out for a while. It'll be a good time. We'll be streaming on a Moderately Anonymous, their channel, who they are an absolute fucking queer delight, so.
Sweet. And Sage dropped me that link, and you can see it right now in the Twitch chat. So love to have you there. Thank you all for the support. As always, huge fucking thank you to our Patreon donors. You guys rock. You're the light of our lives. We love you so much. Also, everybody stay tuned. If you are still waiting on a collector's box or like a very fancy edition of the Venture Maidens campaign guide, that is happening so soon. Watch out for your email, because I believe all of the final confirm your address, last chance to do that backer kit emails like just went out last week. So make sure to update any addresses through backer kit. Don't worry, guys. You have to do it through BackerKit. 2C Gaming can't do it, so don't try. Just update those, because those very last orders are being fulfilled. I'm so excited to finally get my collector's boxes, and I hope you guys are too. So excited.
Fucking hyped. Oh my god.
It's been so long. I'm hungry for it. I have a spot on my bookshelf that has been open for like a year, just waiting. And my mom will get hers. It'll be so exciting. But yes, so make sure that is happening. And then also, we always like to take some time to thank our Patreon donors by name from those higher tiers. So let's go around the horn here. And I want to say a big ol' thank you to Muffin at the one on Drury Lane on Twitter/X.
Thank you dearly, Nissa McKinnon.
And thank you to Richie113 on our Discord.
Thank you so much, Tony. Bow, 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 bow.
Wow, 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 wow. And Ferris Drinking Mates, Fable, thank you so much.
Thank you, Markali.
Thank you so much, Brim.
Thank you, Nadia.
And thank you, Noon, from our Discord server.
Thank you so much, Alan, a.k.a. Obsidian Cyrix, a.k.a. Rum Cake Master.
Thank you so much, Scott.
And thank you to our new drinking mate, Steven!
Steven, welcome! Thank you! And thank you, of course, so much to Chris. You all are wonderful. You're the light of our lives. Thank you for being here. I have been your game master / MC, Celeste Conowitch.
And I'm Nassim, and I had such a blast being, briefly Tony, your half-orc fighter.
Sure, there too.
Yeah. But I had a lot of fun being your bone crusher, your plucky duck, and Meadow Song.
Meadow Song, yes, thank you.
And I'm Sage, and I have been your bedazzling bard, Aoife Flannery.
New babe of the Blossom Court favorite. Yes, I cannot wait to dive into another of these challenges with you all next time. But until then, everybody, venture
away!
Venture away, everybody. Bye-bye.